How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about MMAT metamaterials. I know it pulled back inside of the market and many are saying, Dre, we need an update, so we're about to jump into it. But before we get started, we have to go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know areas of support. How's it lining up with our indicators and what are we looking forward to going into tomorrow? And then secondly, we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. And we also did see that institutions are loading up on shares. So we're going to be covering that. I'm excited to share that with you guys. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know, did institutions load up today? Is it showing how many large-scale orders? We're about to find out. And then when all of that is done, we'll be jumping into the final thought. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for SNDL Sundial Growers. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at 82 cents, being down 5.17%. On the low, it tested 82 cents, and then on the high, testing 87 cents. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, we ended up trading at 79.795 million shares. But over the past 10 trading days, on average, we tend to trade at 95.258 million. So of course we had below average volume, and with that said, we ended up having a down day. So no surprises there. So as far as for the chart is concerned, we're using the 1-year daily chart. We take a look at the RSI down below. You can see we're right around this 42.75 level. So we are in the oversold territory. When we take a look at the indicators on the chart, you can see here we are below the 100-day. We're also below the 21-day EMA, but we are sitting right on the 200-day. So what I want to look forward to going into tomorrow is to continue to sit on this 200-day. If it does decide to pull back, you guys know I see this as an opportunity as far as getting in some entries when it's in the 70-cent range. So whether that be at 78, 76, and so forth, you catch those areas, that's a great place to consider taking a position. And of course, in order for SNDL to start looking bullish again, we're going to want to look forward to seeing it coming back here to reclaiming the 21-day EMA right here at 88 cents. It did test it, and it was an area of resistance on the day. But as far as going into next week, I would like to look forward to seeing a resurgence and making that move getting past this 21-day. So one of the reasons why it'd be great to see it actually get past this particular area, then we could start testing in the 90s and start consolidating and building support. That is the best case scenario. But of course, on pullbacks, you guys know my strategy. That's where we really like to take advantage and add to our positions. So we're on Fintel. We're going to take a look at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for MMAT. As we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So we can see here from Vallejo Financial Advisors, we have 10,000 shares as far as a new position. So that is definitely good to see that we have institutions loading up on MMAT. When we take a look at the short interest information, we can see here the short volume ratio is at 31.96. Scrolling down on the page, short shares availability is at 1.6 million. And as far as for the short ball free rate is at 6.08, updated 6 minutes ago. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, it definitely has gone up quite a bit. So we can see here on July 20th close, it was at 31.96, and now it's as high as 38.88. So taking everything into consideration here, this is part of the reasons. If you don't have a lot of volume going through a stock, you're going to end up seeing a lot of selling pressure, and shorts take advantage of this opportunity. But of course, if you've been in this play long enough, you already know there's a lot of volatility already. And as far as how the stock moves, is there's not a lot of volume, of course, you're going to see some downward pressure on the stock itself. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for MMAT. So we can see here on the inflow, we had 17, and on the outflow, we had 16. So on the inflow, we had 1 on the large, 10 on the medium, and 6 on the small. As far as on the medium side, we had 11 on the medium, 0 on the large, of course, and in small, we had 5. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see here for today on July the 22nd being at 54.28. So taking this into consideration, you're saying, Dre, we ended up having an inflow day, but we still ended up being red. And here's what you need to understand. We had low volume. And this is why I always talk about how volume is so key. But one of the great things that we could actually take from this, we see that institutions are the ones that are most likely to do large orders, and seeing that they did this is actually bullish. And part of the reasons being is institutions are not going to put their money in investments where they don't see any potential returns whatsoever. So now let's jump into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So for my final thoughts for MMAT metamaterials, yes, there is a potential that it can pull back going into tomorrow. We know Fridays, many traders like to sell out of their positions. So taking everything into consideration, I want you to be prepared for the volatility, and that's why I talked about it inside of the technical analysis as far as areas where it could possibly pull back to. Another thing we do need to realize, we did have below average volume. This is going to have an impact on the stock, and it benefits short sellers because when many people see the stock prices going down, this is where they decide to sell, especially on the retail side. So this is why we end up seeing the performance that we actually did see today. So that's what I'm saying. If we have a repeat of as far as volume is concerned, don't be shocked. The other thing that I want to go over as well, MMAT still continues to have short squeeze potential. And this is great because what we know, if there's a lot of buying pressure that ends up coming through this stock, we can look forward to seeing some strong moves all the way to the upside. And then just before I conclude this video, anyone who's inside of this play, make sure you're doing your homework and as well as your due diligence. I've been getting some questions and some of our people are asking me, like, so what is MMAT all about? I just dropped like $5 grand on it. And I'm like, are you dropping $5 grand on a stock and you don't even know what it's about? Again, do your homework, do your due diligence. I feel this is essential here because at the end of the day, if you see the volatility, you're more likely to get nervous or have anxiety about it because you're like, you know what? I already know what the company is. I know what they're about. I feel like they're going to be successful. I feel like it's going to move the stock price. So I'm confident no matter what. I feel this is so important. This will stop many people who are selling for losses. More times when people sell for a loss, or even if they panic sell, there's a good chance they don't know much about the company or they don't believe in the long-term prospects, and they end up getting out of the position and it ends up running up, whether it might be the next month or maybe some months from now. Like I've seen this happen on many different occasions, and it's also happened to myself as well. So that was just something that I wanted to go over because I feel like if you're taking a big investment in any company, you should be able to handle the volatility that comes with it. And as far as the markets are concerned, yes, we are starting to see that shift. We're seeing earnings that are coming out. We're seeing stocks that are running up, but do keep in mind, there were many stocks that we saw. We saw this on the medium cap stocks, and a lot of penny stocks ended up pulling back and having lower volume than usual. So pay attention to these trends. We are going to have movement coming into the sector, more volume coming in, but for the most part, this is just a phase, and I can see these stocks spiking back up just like MMAT. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.